Miyata and Ippo will never meet in the pro ring. Miyata is one of the most skilled fighters in Hajime no Ippo. When it comes to his raw talent and potential, he's probably third after Takamura and Ricardo. But he's also extremely handicapped. He's basically crippled in his current weight class. It's similar to what's happening to Kimura. No, it's probably even worse. Kimura said that Miyata is the same height as him, and yet he's in an even lower division. Why? I don't even need to ask, you already know this. It's because of Ippo. Ippo is the worst thing that ever happened to Miyata's career, maybe even his life. He got beaten by him when Ippo was 2 months deep into boxing training, while Miyata was a prodigy who's being coached by his dad since he was 8 years old. The knockdown hit Miyata so deep that he made it his life mission to beat the shit out of Ippo. And to do that, he needs to constantly stay close to his fighting weight. When Ippo became Japanese champion, Miyata was on an 11-fight killing spree. He had 11 fights in a single year. That's almost 1 fight per month. He needed to do this in order to always stay at featherweight and have the fighting body ready to go. Kimura goes ham and says, then Miyata is always going to enter the ring like some kind of gimp? He said this straight up to his dad's face, bro. Ice cold dragon fisher, bro. And now watch this. Kimura starts shouting that Miyata is plenty good for the lightweights. He could even reach the world level. He should forget about the featherweights and move to a weight class where he can use his true strength. Miyata's dad agrees. And then Kimura understands. It's because of Ippo, that bastard. Miyata overhears this conversation and tells Kimura to forget what he heard and keep this a secret, especially from him. He doesn't want Ippo to know. It's not his problem. He must not see it as an advantage because Miyata built that body with blood and sweat. But even though Miyata doesn't want anybody to know, it's true. It is an advantage. That's why that fight won't happen in the pro ring. And here is literal proof that it won't happen. In chapter 749, Miyata hit his opponent with a counter that was specifically designed for Ippo. Takamura taught him that counter, but he showed it in broad daylight while Ippo was watching. Why? Because he wanted to sever all of his regrets, a point of no return. This message makes it official. We'll never run into each other in the ring again. Goodbye. Goodbye, Makonochi Ippo. This conversation happened without them even talking to each other. Miyata just showed a special counter and Ippo immediately knew. That was meant for me. And then let's fast forward to the end of the Rosario fight. After Mashiba was beaten into a coma, Miyata kept looking at the ring where Rosario was standing. Back when I covered the chapter, I initially assumed Miyata wanted to take the world in general, without any specific opponents in mind. But now I'm not so sure, because since then, another chapter dropped. And that chapter is 1486. This chapter was a complete feat fest. We saw how fast Miyata really is. Since he's currently not on weight control, he's in perfect shape, and it shows. He's literally gliding through the ring like a kangaroo on rollerblades. This version of Miyata would beat any version of Ippo up until now. Look at this. He's mid-air and then he's gone. Suddenly he appears from an angle that even Greek mathematicians hadn't discovered back then. As we know, Ricardo absolutely schooled him. But this wasn't due to Ricardo's speed, but because of Miyata showing his rhythm with his measuring jab. As a matter of fact, Ricardo praised him like crazy. He said if Miyata gets into top gear, he's extremely dangerous, and he has insane reflexes. But let me get back to why I think Miyata will move up in weight soon. True, he was described as a featherweight by Bill just now, but he hasn't had an on-screen fight in almost 400 chapters. That chapter was released in 2016. 9 years. For 9 years, Miyata hasn't had an on-screen fight. When Miyata describes Ricardo's style, he says, strike first, strike at the same time, strike right after. He doesn't let his opponent do anything. Ricardo's basically spamming his jab non-stop. Then Miyata says this is his ideal style. I'm reaching here a little bit, but it sounds like Miyata is aiming for a style that only his replenished body at lightweight is capable of. At featherweight, he doesn't have the stamina nor footwork to pull this off. Miyata at lightweight would be like Ricardo at featherweight. He'd be an unsolvable puzzle. No one could touch him. If Ippo hadn't knocked him down 36 IRL years ago, Miyata would have been world champ right now. And it would be super ironic if he beats Rosario, the guy Mashiba lost to. Mashiba fought against Miyata and stole the victory, and now Miyata is taking Mashiba's dream belt. That would be the perfect circle. Rosario said he'd come back to Japan. It's already written in stone. Mashiba is done. No way he'll ever fight again after the dramatic cinema we saw at the hospital. It's time for Miyata's path to the world. No more OPBF title defenses. Drop Ippo for good and conquer the globe. But I said they'll never meet in the pro ring. That doesn't mean they won't have a third and final spar. That's my prediction. Once everything is said and done, Ippo has the featherweight belt and Miyata has the lightweight belts. Both are world champs and reach the final goal. And now it's time to fight each other at their best. Ippo's punches are hard enough so it wouldn't even make a difference if Miyata was a lightweight. Ippo is constantly sparring Aoki and Kimura who are heavier than him. He even sparred Volk and Mashiba who are both junior lightweights and lightweights respectively. He can deal with that weight difference. Mark my words. Miyata versus Ippo 3 in the Kamogawa basement ring. World champion versus world champion.